Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Ricky with Untitled Solutions. Hope that you guys are all having a great start to the week when it comes down to your trading altogether. So for those that aren't familiar with who it is that I am, my name is Ricky. We run the largest YouTube channel for those who invest in the stock market. If you guys haven't checked us out, feel free to start with our helpful video playlist. And also we do run a free Facebook group, the largest one out there, called Tech But Solutions. We have a little bit over 160,000 members, and that free link is that third link in the description. If you would like to work with me on a closer basis, you could watch me trade live with that first link in the description if it's something that you see of value. So in this video, we're actually saying a couple jokes. We planned out this live stream at 9:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I know for all my people out there in the East Coast, I'm going to try to make it simple and easy to understand. And I want to make sure that you guys all know that the stocks that I am going to be talking about today in no way are in any stock suggestion. I'm not here to tell people where to buy. I'm not here to tell people where to sell. You should only invest in what you see value. Yesterday or on Sunday, we hosted our Sunday Stock Talk. That's the top stocks that our group saw value in. I went through that. I went through the Learn, Plan, Profit group alerts. I went through the Tech But Solutions watch list, and I gathered a series of stocks and ETFs that I personally see value in for this upcoming week. I want to give a huge shout out to everyone who shared their top pick this week. We try to keep it very simple, and you just share your number one pick. And what I saw kind of going on in the group chat is a lot of people were choosing either stocks that were showing signs of an uptrend, but were so overbought that the margin of profit just wasn't worth it, or it was too close to its earnings report, which is like either tomorrow or the day that follows. And I don't like trading stocks. It's just my criteria. I don't like trading stocks that are so close to earnings, just because if they don't complete that margin, a lot of the stocks that were being shared were really big companies, and the volatility isn't that huge on those. And then the last thing is I just felt like some people were trying to also, I tried to predict reversals, meaning that something was still downtrending. It was very oversold. So for all those that called out like something like LEBU or UWT, those are all stocks that are super oversold, but are still not showing any signs of an overall reversal of pattern. So I'm going to be talking about a couple stocks that are already showing signs of an uptrend, especially for this specific week. So I just want to give you guys a very quick example on why I think it's so important to focus on what's already actively trending up. So just to put it into perspective, you should become very micro-focused on what's showing signs of an uptrend this week, at least in my perspective, is because I want to grow my account this week. I'm not planning for next week, not planning for my trades next week. I'm planning for my trades this week. So I want to make sure that whenever I'm trading is showing signs of a current uptrend pattern. So the reason that I don't find value in a lot of the stocks that are being like, potential reversals is because of the sole understanding that they're potentially going to reverse in the future, not right now. And again, I'm not here to try to predict the reversal. I'm simply here to try to follow whatever's already showing signs of making higher highs and that has a margin of profit that's worth it. So going into that, let's just go ahead and start the breakdowns. And I really hope that you guys enjoy. I'm going to start off from top to bottom. Again, this is no order. This is not in an order of like which I like most or anything like that, but ticker symbol SQQQ. You guys have seen that I've been trading it pretty actively. If you guys follow me on Instagram, first of all, thank you guys again for 70,000 followers. I broke a little bit over 70,000 today, so really do appreciate that. But this is one that I've did absolutely amazing with, just because of how consistent it's been actively trending up. I've been trying to identify the low points. I've been trying to identify the high points and simply following this ascending support line. That's really just it. So when it becomes a little bit more on the oversold side, then I wait for it to show signs of a reversal and I simply trade off of that. It's been showing signs of an uptrend, and also it's become very simple on the 1 day 1 minute chart. So looking at the 1 day 1 minute chart pattern, so when it was trading and bouncing around that $15 price point and then hitting the anything above like 1560 to 1570 was a little bit more on the overbought side for me, so not so much of a good deal. It was very easy for me to buy the dips and sell the peaks, right? Buy the dips, sell the peaks, buy the dips, sell the peaks. Very easy to see that pattern, so it's very easy for me to trade. And again, that's what I like to focus on, in patterns in which I understand and are easy for me to trade, because the more difficult they become, yes, sometimes you have to be a little bit more selective, and there might not be a lot of options to choose from. But again, one of the best things that you can do when it comes down to trading is simply not taking a position at all. I do want to make sure that you guys know that when it comes down to trading this specific ETF, there is a correlating ETF that's an inverse ETF of this, and all you have to do is instead of the S, it is simply a T in front of it, so it's TQQQ, and when this one trends down, SQQQ pushes up. Also, if you're looking for the correlating future, if you're part of Learn Plan Profit or if you've watched a couple of my videos for a longer period of time, you understand why they're important to me. I either use one of these two, /NQ or /ES, whichever one you like most. Obviously, /NQ would be a little bit more accurate, and that's really just it when it comes down to that specific ticker. So the one that follows after that is ticker symbol Twitter. So this is actually one that I found through the group alerts for Learn Plan Profit. Why is it something that I'm talking about? Why is it something that I'm bringing up? Because it's continuously been making higher highs for the past 4 to 5 days, and I like that consistent pattern. I do think that it's a little bit more on the overbought side as of right now on the 180-day 4-hour chart, so I do think that it can pull back. But if it continues this pattern where it sells off, then the day that follows, such as not tomorrow, but Thursday or Friday, we can see a nice little push up back to around this $34, $35 price point, which could offer a 4% margin if it goes according to plan. And again, that's why we can have it in our watch list and we can simply follow up with it. So you guys saw that I set one of my alerts here for the break below 32. I'm just going to set my alert here as well for the break below 33. So when it comes closer for that pullback confirmation to around that EMA line, I can become more well aware that, hey, Twitter is approaching a potential support. It doesn't mean that I have to buy. All it means is that I could be watching it a little bit closer if it starts to show signs of a reversal. And again, why is it that I see value in it? It's not because I think it's the greatest stock ever. It's simply because of its direction. And it's been showing signs of it making higher highs, which is personally something that I find to be very attractive. Moving on forward, the other one that I want to talk about is ticker symbol DGAS. The inverse ETF of DGAS is UGAS, so that's simply with a U in front of it, and it follows a correlating future /NG. As of right now, one thing that I do want to point out is that its overall direction for DGAS is a descending pattern. So that's a form of risk that you have to understand before taking a position. So this, in a sense, would be a little bit more risky than something that offers a very consistent ascending uptrend pattern. And I just want to make sure that that's made apparent to you guys, right? On top of that, the reason that I find this to be attractive is on the 5-day, 5-minute chart, it was showing signs of a consistent uptrend pattern. If we go on the 20-day, 1-hour chart, it was trying to show signs of an uptrend pattern and bouncing close to or near to this SMA indicator, which acted as a form of support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my alert and simply follow up with it. Is this going to act as a support? We'll have to wait out and see. And if it does, then again, a very common resistance has been around that $16 price point. And again, I don't have to buy at the lowest price point at $14.60. It's not about that. Just like I talked about in today's video, right? Just like I talked about in today's video when it comes down to, when to buy and sell a stock, I'm not so focused on buying it at the lowest point and selling at the highest point. All of you that are part of Learn Plan Profit that get to watch me trade live every day know that. My biggest focus is making sure that I'm investing in something that's actively trending up, and that when something is overbought or reaching a potential resistance, that I lock in profits and walk away. Yes, sometimes I do leave some profit on the table because it can continue to uptrend, but at least I understand that I'm getting something for a good deal and then I'm exiting at a price point where it becomes a little bit more on the overbought side. And again, you could only control what you are aware of. So if you are aware of something being oversold or overbought, great. React to that. But if, again, something is overbought and you don't react to it and you become greedy because you want to lock in every single cent, then you will make the most common mistake of going from green to red. And again, that's definitely not something that I want to experience on a consistent basis. So from $15 to about, let's say $15.80, that's a little bit over 5% margin of profit. Again, that's not from the SMA line to its top resistance. That's nearly 10%. I'm trying to be conservative. I'm trying to give it time for it to sell off, to show signs of a reversal. I could buy at around 15, which is again not at the lowest point, and then I can sell right around $15.70, $15.80, which is again not the highest point. $16 tends to be more of the common resistance, but again, being conservative on my entry and my exit, making sure that I get a confirmation for an uptrend and making sure that I exit before any true form of a resistance. The next one that I wanted to talk about was ticker symbol DIS. Ticker symbol DIS, which is Disney. It's showing signs of a potential reversal. It's been trying to make higher highs based on recent patterns. The EMA line is now starting to point up. I have my alert set here for the break above 115. And for all those that are looking for something that's a little bit more consistent and showing signs of a continuous uptrend pattern, I think Disney has done an amazing job continuously trying to make higher highs. Going based off of previous patterns, looking at the resistance right around 118, we could see that that has been a very common resistance based off previous patterns, and it's showing signs of a potential support right around the SMA line. So from right around the SMA line, let's just even say 115 to about 118, we could see that it offers about 2.5% margin of profit. Again, nothing huge, but it's still something that for those that are looking for a more realistic margin of profit is something that we could pay attention to. Another one that I want to talk about is ticker symbol DRIP. DRIP went from showing signs of an aggressive descending pattern. We talked about this multiple times where Gush and Gush and DWT or one of those ETFs were showing signs of /CL, right? /CL was showing signs of it being extremely overbought. And then all of a sudden, so if you look at /CL, now it started to show signs of this peak formation right here, and then it started to make lower lows and lower highs as well. So with that understanding, it made sense on why this thing began to sell off. Now let's note this. DRIP is currently showing signs of an ascending uptrend pattern. And yes, it can continue to push up as it's been, the SMA line is what's been acting as a support. So if I see that this thing begins to break below the EMA line, like the pattern is broken. The pattern that acted as a support and that continued to push this thing up is broken, right? So let's make sure that we understand the pattern in which we see value in. So if that pattern is broken, then we end up knowing when to lock in profit or when we cut losses, right? This is definitely something that I want to make sure that you guys are all aware. It's a descending pattern and it's not the best deal possible. The reason that I'm talking about this is because it's been showing signs of a very consistent uptrend. I would not swing trade this. I would solely day trade it if it continues to show signs of it making higher highs. And how would that look on the 1 day, 1 minute chart? Definitely not how it looked today. Today it really traded in between the middle and bottom VWAP. But when it really pushes up, this is how it looks in between the middle and top VWAP, and it reacts very nicely to the EMA indicator and that top VWAP indicator as well. Just something that I want to make sure that you guys are all aware of. If this thing breaks below that $9 price point and begins to make lower lows, then again, that's when we can pay attention to the correlating ETFs to /CL, which means that ticker symbol Gush, ticker symbol WTI, and there's a couple other tickers that follow /CL a little bit closer. Let me just double check DWT. So this one was pushing up. So it's UWT that everyone tried to predict the reversal that follows a little bit closer to /CL. Again, still showing signs of a downtrend. Trust me, I know that we're waiting for the reversal. Look at all the margin of profit that it has to cover. Let's be patient, let's be selective, and let's simply one of the best positions again that we can take is not taking one at all, especially when it's not something that you feel comfortable taking. So moving on to the next one, this is ticker symbol GLUU, so GLUU, showing signs of a continuous uptrend pattern. It did kind of break its pattern when the overall market really had an aggressive sell-off. It's been having and showing signs of a recent uptrend, so it broke above the EMA indicator, and it's been showing really nice signs of it trying to make higher highs with its overall resistance right around 750. So this is more for my people that are trying to trade stocks that are a little bit of a lower cap stock. This is personally something that I wouldn't be too crazy about, but for those that again want to risk it for the biscuit, then this could be something that you guys can check out, right? So from about $7 to about $7.50, it offers nearly 8% margin of profit. How am I getting the resistance at $7.50? We'll look at the previous resistance levels on where it's previously struggled, and as of right now, it's showing signs of a potential push up above the SMA line. Just please watch out for the earnings on 11/6, as that can act as a negative or positive catalyst depending on how it plays out. So just something that I wanted to talk about since it's been showing signs of it trending above the EMA indicator. The next one that I wanted to talk about was something very similar to the pattern that we've seen on DRIP, and that's something that's very overbought. So again, not a good deal, very overbought, but it continues to make higher highs. Ticker symbol LABD. Ticker symbol LABD has been absolutely killing it. It's been making higher highs. Its overall resistance is right around $44. Right now it's sitting right around $40. And again, it's still holding above this EMA line, but again, it's not a good deal. It still offers a nice margin of profit if it continues to uptrend, but if it begins to show signs of a reversal, this is one that I would be quick to cut losses on because there could be a quick break of pattern, and I would hate for someone to have to ride this all the way down. Again, if you don't feel like you're ready, if you don't feel comfortable, then simply don't take a position. If you're paper trading or simulation trading, which is something that we recommend for all new traders, this could be something where you could practice your bag holding and cutting losses and locking in profits skills, right? This is where it could really come into place where you could buy the low, sell the highs, and if there's a break of pattern, cut losses and walk away, right? Be quick to react. Now, ticker symbol CROX, so Crocs, this is one that we've been talking about for quite a while. It's been showing signs of a continuous uptrend pattern, making higher highs, making higher lows, and it's on the move back up again. Looking at previous resistance right around $22, we can see that around $22, it makes sense on why it's a little bit more on the overbought side and how it's been continuously been making higher highs. The RSI, not the best deal. It might be due for a pullback, but let's say you get close to or near to the EMA indicator, and then you could sell close to or near to the resistance right around $22. It could offer near to 8% margin of profit. Again, for something that's continuously been making higher highs, definitely not too bad. And also it has an up-and-coming earnings report on 11/8/2018, right? So this is another one that I want to talk about that simply is because it's showing signs of an uptrend. Again, it's not one that I would be too crazy about, but I just wanted to talk about it because it's showing signs of an uptrend. It's JDST, which is the inverse of JNUG, which follows /GC. Extremely overbought. Not a good deal. Potential resistance around the SMA indicator, but the reason that I'm talking about it is because it's still continuously making higher highs and bouncing off the EMA line. That's all. So if it continues to follow that pattern, we talked about it yesterday in the Learn Plan Profit live stream. We predicted the reversal today, right? We predicted the reversal when it comes down to the reversal on JDST from JNUG. Yesterday morning, JNUG opened up very aggressive, but when it comes down to JNUG is the inverse ETF of JDST. So one thing that I want to show you guys is if we go on the 2-day 5-minute chart, I think, it was actually today. JNUG opened up very strong. It happened yesterday as well. It opens very strong, and I think you can see it better on the 5-day 5-minute chart. It opens very strong, and then it sells off throughout the entire day. Opens strong and sells off throughout the entire day. Now it closed strong, almost as strong as it pushed up. So something might be changing because now JNUG is a little bit more on the oversold side and JDST is a little bit on the overbought side. But again, one of the things that we've done best within our group is not trying to predict reversals. We try to focus on just going with the flow. If something is trending up, great. And if something is showing signs of a potential reversal and you just simply don't feel comfortable entering that position because you don't know which way, which direction it's going to continue to trend, again, you want to invest in patterns and in directions that are going to grow your account. So if you don't feel comfortable trading something because you don't understand its direction, then simply don't trade it. Again, you're fully in control of where you take your account. You have to take full accountability, right? And if you just don't feel like you are up to par to take that position, then guess what? One of the best things that you can do is simply sit back, watch, and see what happens. That's all, right? It doesn't mean that you're not that good of a trader. It doesn't mean that, it's like, oh, wow, I could have made this much. No, you're learning. Just sit back, watch, see what happens, follow up with it, set your alerts, and let's simply go with the flow. Let's keep it simple. Let's lock in profits, and let's just have fun with it. It's as simple as that, right? One of the most difficult and frustrating things is forcing trades and over trading, and that's something that a lot of you are going to experience firsthand. I do it multiple times, and again, it just takes time. As time goes on, it's just going to take time for you to be able to refine yourself as a better trader. It's going to take time. It's going to take mistakes, and as long as you're someone that's willing to manage your risk and grow from it, that's what's important. So I really want to thank you guys again for your time. That's what it's much easier said than done. Patience and discipline, 100%. It's one of the hardest things I think to master in this specific market because we get very excited, at least myself. I think a lot of you guys can vouch for that. We get very excited when it comes down to our trading. We're very passionate about it, and unfortunately, sometimes it gets the best of us. We're human, but one of the best things that we can do is that we can learn and adapt from our mistakes, and it's those that can learn and adapt, that can continuously do that, that can really become successful in this market. So thank you guys again for absolutely everything it is that you guys do. I'm sorry that this live stream was a little bit just later in the night. I really do appreciate all my people out there in the East Coast, for those that are staying up pretty late. I hope that it's something that you guys found of value. I hope that something that I talked about today can guide you in the right direction. I want to remind you that absolutely none of the stocks that I talked about today are in any way any stock suggestions. You should not trade them. But when it comes down to the way that I see value and the way that I break down the stocks, then that's what I see a lot of value in. So just make sure that whatever it is that you are focusing on trading this week, that it follows your criteria, right? That you understand what you're getting yourself into and that you're not trading based on other people's opinion. So again, thank you guys again. Continue working hard, continue following your dreams. Let your passion be what drives your success. I do want to remind you guys that our $500 giveaway winner will be announced tomorrow at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you want to be a participant or a potential winner for that, then again, you do have to be enrolled by tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's that first link in the description for those that want to be able to watch me trade live every single day in the stock market and work with me on a closer basis. Let's continue to kill it. Let's lock in profits and let's stay green. We made this joke, we've said this joke a couple times where it's like, oh, let's get this bread. I don't know if you guys heard that thing. My cousin started saying it and it's like a trendy thing, but I just think it sounds funny. So yeah. All right. My name's Ricky. I day trade. Hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Have a good night. Hopefully I earned your thumbs up. And let's just have fun. Take it easy.